an update on Jalen.
Don't have one more than the statement we made yesterday, but, had an injury at the end of practice on Monday. Lower body injury. We know more, we'll let you guys know more, but in the meantime, it's college basketball, college athletics, and this is why you have depth. We have excellent depth in the front court, and for whatever time we're without him, our guys will be able to step into whatever role that he was going to fill here early.
In the meantime, what kind of opportunity is this for Tyler McKinley to, get his chance and show what he can do?
I think it's an opportunity for everybody. It's certainly Jalen was going to demand a certain role and certain level of playing time here early. And so I think it's easy, from your perspective to look at it as just a straight position to position thing where, okay, maybe Tyler and Jalen play the exact same position in your eyes from the outside, and you go, okay, well, here's the guy that fills that void. I think anytime you're without a very key player, I think it's a collective thing where you could actually fill that void with Keyshawn Tiller, because there's so much lineup versatility with our team, and the game has changed so much. It's not like when a guy that plays the four, isn't available that you have to play another four. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for everybody to maybe have a little bit bigger of a role. Tyler McKinley's certainly one of those guys.
College preseason has changed dramatically. Can you explain playing Michigan and Arkansas? It used to be you play a smaller school, and they were kind of like two gimme wins. And these are two very challenging games. What do you expect to get out of them?
Well, my concern, Scott, is probably different than everybody that'll be paying attention to it. It has nothing to do with winning or losing. Certainly there's a competitive nature to everything we're doing, and when the ball goes up, you're trying to win every possession. But I've watched zero tape on the University of Michigan. You guys think about that. If we had a real game, you think I'd ever stand in front of you, and I've not watched no tape. I've watched zero tape. This is a tool to develop our team, and that is the number one aspect of these exhibition games. They are tools for our team's development. We're going to sit here in January. If we win by 150 on Friday night, you guys will not care in January. If we lose by 150 on Friday night, you guys will not care. It doesn't really matter. Listen, from a fanfare perspective, it's great. You get a chance to see our team for the first time and all that. But for us, within our locker room and within this organization, it is a tool to improve, to learn our team, to get out there, it gets a different jersey. And I love that they've opened these. They used to be secret scrimmages. I love that they've opened them up because now it's also a tool to get out in front of people with the lights on, which is something that we need to deal with early on in the year. So I view these as opportunities to develop our team. Guys, we have really good practices some days. We have really bad practices some days. They're all really good for our development as a team. These are practices in my eyes. And talking to Dusty May, and him and I kind of came up with this whole thing together. He views it the exact same way. So from the winning and losing perspective, I'll care in the moment because I'm competitive, but from a preparation, how we coach the game, who we play, the lineups we play, it'll be treated like a game, and honestly, no way other than just I want to compete like it's a game when there's five guys with another jersey on.
Was there any specific reason you wanted to play against Michigan and Arkansas?
Yeah, I think the first thing, was trying to find some road venues that are tough. Again, these are tools to grow our team, and so finding some road venues against great teams, those are teams that are predicted to win championships and go to Final Fours in the preseason. So I think it's a good litmus test against great talent, and then play on the road. And I think they're both football weekends at both schools, so that was strategic in mind. It wasn't to try to win the game and get everybody excited about how great we're going to be. It's actually to work on becoming a team that can compete night in, night out in the Big 12, and these are Big 12 type games.
Coach, you mentioned Tyler McKinley a couple minutes ago. Obviously, enough off-season with him, kind of coming back from the injury. Walk us through what this off-season was like for Tyler and himself, and then Halveen as well, to come in and get the progression he's made this off-season.
Well, Tyler just being able to put those days together, which we didn't get the chance to do last year, has been great. You can see all the stuff we were excited about when he committed to us. The guys, it feels like 2.5, 3 years ago. To all the excitement from that, you're seeing why we were so excited again, because he's just a terrific young player. He has terrific awareness. He's got a knack for the basketball. Like the rebounding is real. He's a terrific passer, decision maker. So, and he's such a bright player for his age. So just having the ability to put days together, you can finally see those things in a Cincinnati uniform. That's been fun, and we look forward to that continuing. Halveen's just the example of like player development within the program. You know, we really value that. He's a guy that just puts his head down and works, and his improvement from this time last year till now is pretty remarkable.
Do you lose anything doing these exhibition style? Now, the super secret scrimmages, you could do 3 20-minute segments and play the young guys and do things in different ways. Do you lose anything that it's more 40-minute game style this way?
I think so, yeah. I think you gain and you lose. You gain let's face it, you gain the preparation for environment, for distractions, for media attention. You know, like this is like, you guys know, I don't hold a lot back. If we win by 20, teaching our guys how not to listen to what people say to their phones, like that's an opportunity to teach and learn early in the year. If we lose by 20, taking that as an opportunity to not to worry about what people put on their phones, that's an opportunity. You gain that. You never got that from a secret scrimmage. And that mental preparation for this level of basketball, where you're going to have ups and downs throughout the season, right? I've said this a lot in the off season, to our team. Let me make you guys a promise for your anxiety. There's going to be you don't have to worry about having some bad days. This is the Big 12. Every single team in this league is going to have some bad days. So don't worry about what happens when that happens. It's going to happen. Let's prepare for it. And let's respond to it, and let's start doing the work early for that. And then let me tell you, you don't need to worry if we're going to have some good days. Don't worry, man, is it ever going to be good? Oh, we're going to have some great days. Let's prepare for it. So you gain that from these scrimmages. You gain how to learn to deal with whatever happens. And, we're going to big-time environments against teams that have high expectations. So that could be really good. They could feel really good when it's done, or they could feel really bad. Either way, to me, it's a learning opportunity and tool, and that's going to help us in January, February. That's the whole idea. What you lose is what you said, the ability to do more than 40 minutes. Whether it's, you scrimmage with a friend that's a coach and you do some situations, right? Hey, we're going to go our ball with a minute left, tie game, and let it play out from there. We're going to do side-out plays down 2, up 3. You lose the ability to do that. For years with friends, you've done, hey, we're going to do 10 minutes of a scrimmage at the end, but we're going to play the guys that didn't play as much, and you give those, you lose the ability to do that. So it is a give and take, but I think in the grand scheme of things, with what we're going to face night in, night out in the Big 12 and the arenas we're going to play in, it's a great opportunity to prepare for some of the things that come with that.
When you think about where your team is right now throughout this summer and fall, where would you say you're most comfortable and where there's opportunities for improvement from a preparation standpoint and what you're trying to improve on?
Yeah, I think, fans hate to hear this kind of stuff, but it's just true. We're not ready to play basketball today. And by the way, I'm not worried about that. But we're not supposed to be ready. I don't think we play a game for 20 days or something, a real game. So it's not our job to be ready to play. Like, again, Michigan's a tool. And we didn't go into this off season and preseason by trying to be the best team we could be, game ready for this Michigan scrimmage or exhibition. Our job is to be ready when the lights come on for real in here in early November. And we're not there yet. And that's okay, but we're not there. And that's obvious. And we're not supposed to be, right? We have so many new faces, and we're still trying to figure out lineups and adjustment. Now you lose Jalen here for some time. such a big part of what we were doing offensively. Now we got to make some adjustments there. And so all this is okay, but we're not ready to play a game, and that's fine. I would imagine most coaches in college basketball feel like that. What I'm pleased with is the day-to-day approach has been pretty legit, and they've made consistent efforts to try to do the things that we valued. They've made consistent efforts to try to connect as a group in a swift way, and the progress has been steady and consistent. So it's a long road ahead. This week will not determine whether we have a good season or a bad season at all in terms of the result, but there's been some really nice stuff here early in the year for sure.
I know this doesn't count, and I probably know the answer to this, but do the kids even know the history of the last time that Cincinnati played Michigan?
No.
It was a pretty big game.
No, I mean this, Scott. I've watched zero film on Michigan. Dusty May and I talked last week, and he said, "Hey, let's save each other some time." I said, "I was going to say the same thing to you." He said, "I don't want to watch film on you guys and try to figure your team out." I said, "I don't either." I said, "You tell me what you're going to do. We'll prepare for it. I'll tell you what we're going to do. And let's just get out there and play." So no scouting report, no film, certainly no history lesson. Like this week is about getting better and getting our team ready to play in 21 days or 20 days or whatever the heck it is.
Real quick, what did Kmart say last night to the guys?
Certain things are reserved for the locker room, and certain things are public, and you can ask that to Kenyon. But it was just terrific to have our former players back, and we had a host of them at the tip-off dinner last night. Obviously, Kenyon Martin. When you think about Cincinnati basketball, there's a handful of players that come to mind first, and there's a large amount of players that have contributed, right, like to what Cincinnati basketball represents. But there's a handful that just come to top of mind, and in the modern era, it starts with Kenyon Martin. So, it just really, really special that he's always so willing to come back and support, and he let the guys know that in a way that only Kenyon can. And I think certainly we all felt the edge and the pride and the passion that he has for Cincinnati basketball.
A lot of new faces, but one of the guys people probably know the least about is Jordi Rodriguez. What have you seen from him so far, and how do you think he kind of fits in with this group, even though he got here a little bit late?
You just see that he's played professional basketball. It's so clear. I've coached so many guys that came from Europe to make the adjustment to college basketball, and it's always an adjustment. We saw this with Halvine last year, most recently, but it's always an adjustment. It's been less of an adjustment for Jordi than I thought it would be, because he's played professional basketball for quite a bit of time here, and he's played with older professional players in one of the best leagues in the world, right, in the ACB in Spain. So, not just like the youth international competition, which probably is what he's more known for, but it's the practices that he's been in with the club that he's played for. And so he just has an awareness about the game that's, beyond what you'd expect from a first-year college player. He's picked things up really quickly. I do think the physicality of our game and the speed of our game is going to be an adjustment for him, but some of the areas that, most people adjust to in year one of college basketball, he's a little further ahead.
In your experience with the scrimmages and now the exhibitions, you talk about you love to compete. Have you ever had to hold yourself back from trying to go after the result, or is it all right?
Sure.
Are you able to stay committed to what you want to do?
That's funny. Like a self-awareness question. Yeah. You guys know, love competition, So yeah, I think that's as you mature as a coach and you evolve, just, making sure you see the big picture and understanding that this isn't, we're not accomplishing anything by having the best preparation for the Michigan exhibition. Like the idea of this is to help us prepare for the season. And so how do we utilize that in the best possible way to make us the best Big 12 team? And that might not be what a fan wants to see, because you want to turn on and see, Cincinnati basketball humming. But when we were humming against Ohio State here in our exhibition last year. I don't remember anybody talking about that in March on Selection Sunday. Yeah, I think when the ball goes up, the edge to compete is going to be there all the time. But in the preparation and putting in perspective what this is really about, I think over time I've matured. But yeah, when I was a first-year head coach at 28 years old, and we had our first scrimmage, I thought it was the national championship, and I think I've come a long way since then. That's a good question.
Coach, obviously Chad mentioned Jordy Rodriguez. Lucas Atari is another guy who came along kind of late in the summer. Just what have you seen from him this summer and his progressions as well?
He hasn't been medically cleared yet, and so I can't really make a comment beyond that, but he's never been medically cleared by our medical staff, and there's a process there. It's for the right reasons, and I trust our medical staff implicitly.
Anything else?
If, wait a minute, make it official. If Jalen were to be in a medical redshirt situation, is there any opening on the roster? I know you got Halveen late, anything like that you would consider?
I don't have any update on anything roster at this time.